Welcome to this week's meeting. Today is April 3rd, 2025, and Luca was supposed to be here, but he couldn't show up today. So it will be just me today. And we have a few topics we want to discuss. One of them being related to moderation, or rather, two topics related to moderation. And that is, first off, I'd want to do a quick showcase of an open PR we have that adds a new ticketing system that will then be used by moderators, be it internal or external moderators. But for that specific topic, we'll get more to that later. So let's see if I can share my screen. Let's see, how can I... Trying a new setup here this time. So this, then share screen, because I use multiple computers. We should be able to see. Yes. Okay. So, we've added a ticketing system. First off, let me show from the user side. So here I have an alternative account, DinaBot, just a bot account we use for various stuff. And this is a local running instance of JSR. You see, there is absolutely nothing. So before, if there was any support things you were needing to do on JSR, you would always have to go to package and then click report package, and that would open up an email, which is not great. And that would apply for all kinds of different actions that require interaction from... Oh, is the audio working? Hello? Okay, my bad. I'll be more careful with the microphone. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, then let me quickly begin again. Oh shit. So yeah, on JSR, currently to report packages, you have to use the report package button, which opens up an email. Not ideal. We want to use rather a ticketing system that is more fleshed out, gives more control for us, and makes just the experience much nicer. So for that, we, created a ticketing system that I'll quickly showcase. So for example, if I go here, I can create... First example is I want to get a scope that is currently taken up, or rather not taken up, but reserved. So before you would get a nice message that you have to send an email, manually type an email and send a request. Now you just get a button and have to put in a reason. In this case, test, because that's a valid reason. And then you get a ticket. So this is the ticket view for a user. And you can send more messages, and it will show up. It's open. It's links. It says that the scope is for Google, and yeah. Now I can show the admin side. Is I can go to tickets, and I see that there is a ticket for scope claim. I can click on it and view it, and I can reply, and that will show that I'm a staff. That's the user. Tickets can only be seen by the user that created and any staff. It's not possible for any external people to see a ticket. And yeah, now that I send a message, if I go here, you can see I got one on a reply ticket as the DinaBot account. And yeah, it will say, oh, there's a notification for this specific ticket that's still open. I can view it, and then I can reply. And it's back and forth messages. It's nothing fancy. And then only admins can close a ticket. And once it's closed, notifications also go away, and status is marked as closed. And it's a ticketing system. You've seen it. It's nothing special. Um, yeah, for admins, we have in the admin panel, we have a support tickets list where we can see all open ones, all closed ones, any open ones that still have newer notifications. And yeah, that's mostly it. So there's various different ways that you can create tickets. Either we saw when you create a package, or another one is when you are in a scope and you're requesting for a scope quota increase. And that's just another one. And then there is package reporting and personal user scope quota increase, like here. And that's currently all the supported ones. Yeah, the only downside to this currently is that if I go to JSR.io, currently unauthenticated users can use this report package and it will open a mail through. With the new system, this is currently not supported. We do want to add that capability to be able to, well, have unauthenticated tickets being created, but that's going to be done in a follow-up. Yeah, that's pretty much it for tickets. It's a ticketing system. Any questions regarding this before we get on with other stuff? Or suggestions or anything related to this? Be it raise your hand or you can also just write in chat. I guess no. I mean, it's a ticketing system. Okay, so now comes up to the follow-up topic, which is moderators. Now that we have a ticketing system and not fully rely on emails, we can also have external people use the system. So we can start adding external people that are not related to the Dino company or the board itself to be part of this and be able to do moderation instead of just the Dino company doing it. Now, the first set of moderators are not set in stone yet. It's kind of still very open. It's not strongly outlined. And right now, moderators really would only have the capabilities of doing the ticketing. But the plan is that this expands to obviously more tasks and then also moderation group, as it has been mentioned in the past. But that's more down the line. This is like not a prerequisite, but more like, let's say, a trial and a first step towards having a more fledged out moderation group in the future. So now we have here two people that I know were interested and I reached out to, and I assume they probably still are interested, and that's Canada Hong here and Doctor, who are relatively well known in the Dino community or JavaScript community in general, either or, and are reputable. And that's the main thing we go for. We go for people that have a reputation in the community because, well, we don't want to have people that have no reputation whatsoever. That can lead to many problems. So, yeah. The question is obviously, seriously? What the fuck? How about now? Is this much better? This has never happened. Oh, that's wait, let me adjust my Discord settings. So strange this never was an issue before. Oh yeah, true. So that's gonna be let's see. Okay. Is this much better? Is this working now? Can you all hear me? No? Okay. Why not? Test, hello? How about now? Hello? No? This is very interesting. Test,
Test.
hello?
Hello.
Why?
Why?
Oh,
Oh,
okay. Yeah, I can also reproduce this in. Okay, because when I do the Discord self check, it's also cutting out always. I am not sure why that is happening. Um, is it actually better though? Okay, this is a fun technical issue that I'll deep dive after the meeting. Yeah, this is good enough for now. But yeah, so as I was saying, there's a few people that are interested in this, and that is Canada Honk and Doctor, because, well, they're reputable people, and we kind of want to stick to people that have a reputation in the community, be it JSR community or JavaScript community in general. And yeah, we don't want to just have random people because that can lead to all kinds of issues. So the question is, Canada Honk and Doctor, are you still interested in partaking this? Even though for now it's only gonna be, well, being able to modify or rather interact with the ticketing system. This would be one of the first steps towards the moderation group. Yeah, you don't have to commit a lot of time. I mean, there's not a lot of tickets coming in and out. Um, okay, great. Um, yeah. Well, that's great. So, one thing we will, or I have to set up before we do this is we need a more fine-grained permission system in JSR because right now everyone is either an admin and can do everything and anything and destroy the entire system, or not an admin. So I'll have to add one more permission level in between that, and also actually land the ticketing system because it currently is not live. Uh, and then obviously also we need an audit log just in case. You never know. Say rather safe than sorry. I see someone's typing. Yeah. Ah, great. Yep. Thank you. Yeah. The ticketing system is mostly completed. Yeah. Thank you very much. That's really helpful. Uh, yeah. Just a few minor tweaks needs to be done overall on the tickets page, and just a few more UI things needs some cleaning up. But overall, it's functional. So probably we'll land it in the next few days, and then we'll see from there. Adjusting the permission system to have an additional role should be relatively trivial. It's going to need some refactoring, but will be better down the line. And then audit log, I have no idea how we can do that, but probably some way to have some Postgres hooks and see from that to some degree. Yeah, not haven't thought about the audit log at all yet, but that should be relatively simple. Okay. Now that's for this theme and topic of moderation, I want to switch over to a completely different topic. And that is we have obviously some priorities in terms of what we want to work on. And a few weeks ago, or more than a month ago, probably because I was away for a while, we went through the board, aka the project board for JSR. Now we have, it's mostly still the same, or we have not changed anything really. But one thing we want to discuss and figure out a solution to, and we're going to ask here in the community, is the biggest blocker for many people is the a better interoperability with the npm ecosystem, aka being able to depend on JSR packages in an npm package and the ability of dual publishing. Those are two of the, I would say, most important issues that we have currently that we need to figure out. And yeah, so now it's just really, I would say, for the remaining time, that we do some brainstorming around how we can achieve these things. Now, I would stick to the first topic of being how can a JSR package depend, or rather an npm package depend on a JSR package. We've had some ideas, one being either bundle everything and throw that into the JSR package, the npm package that's being published. Not ideal, but probably the easiest approach. And vendoring would be basically an alternative solution for the exact same thing instead of bundling, but that's basically it. Comes down to the same solution. And yeah, we have not really figured out any alternatives because we cannot really depend or rather rely on npm adding native support for JSR, which is slightly disappointing, but it's the reality. Yeah, one alternative I've was suggested is also just talk directly to other tools like PMPM and Yarn, etc., to add direct support for JSR themselves and not bother with npm CLI in the first place, given that the popularity of PMPM and Yarn is quite big. That probably is a good alternative solution, but it does lock out quite a decent amount of users that do use the npm CLI. Does anyone here have any suggestions or comments? Oh, yeah, Wes, come up.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Cool. I think there is some history of a discussion, and I was trying to find it to see if I could link it, for a registry specifier addition to their dependency spec.
I
So
see.
if that now obviously the npm RFC program is defunct, so I'm not trying to use that as any meaning here, but it might be a good thing to try to find the way that folks were thinking about that as a good reference point. And then also Volt definitely is thinking about this. I don't know if their solution or approach is public yet or implemented, but that might be another thing to just investigate before y'all make too much decisions or whatever, because if there's some prior art, it might help you at least if you go to Yarn and PNPM folks, going with something that is more likely to get some backward compat and support universally, then that's obviously just a win for the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Rather than an newly invented thing that may or may not achieve agreement broadly.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. That is a good point. Uh, yeah, we definitely can reach out to the Vault.sh folks, given that Isaac is part of the board. So yeah, that's a good point. I'll see that we do that. Yeah, it's definitely a tricky issue that we kind of want to fix as soon as possible, just because it is a major blocker for a lot of people. Like I've heard from many people that publish popular packages to npm that want to move to JSR completely, and just saying, yeah, the two blockers are really being able to depend on JSR packages in the npm ecosystem, and also the ability of dual publishing. But we can talk about dual publishing in a second.
Yeah, I mean that to me is is very obviously the most important thing for adoption.
Yeah.
Um, you know, not I think I mentioned this also when we did the CPC discussion a little bit with Ryan from the OpenJS side. Uh, at least for my current workplace and everywhere I've ever worked, and almost everybody I've talked to who operates these kind of things at larger scales, the lift to do this without something like that is just without compatibility, very specifically, without that sort of compatibility story sorted out is like very overwhelming. So yeah, definitely +1 for y'all to be thinking about, what ways you can get that to work. And frankly, vendoring is, if I were to have a vote, I would definitely vote against a vendoring or bundling approach. That
Yes,
has
I completely agree. I've also heard people being against that from, well, package publishers. But if we really don't come to an alternative solution, then that is sadly the way we probably will have to go. But yeah, let's try to avoid that approach, I would say.
Yeah, from a security perspective, it's like a hard stop for probably most security conscientious orgs,
Mm,
right? Because the whole mechanism that we all do supply chain security by relies on today, and it's not all great or whatever, but like one of two things: scanning the file system for a recognizable marker file, so package JSON in the historical case, right?
hmm.
Um, or looking at an app's lock file, right?
Yeah,
So, and neither of those uh, will be reliable if we're bundling.
that's true.
Uh, or rather, so the lock, uh, if the dependency declares it as a bundled dependency, you should be able to reconstruct, and it probably is present in the lock file. Uh, if
Hmm.
I'd have to do some research to see those, and I don't know how the JSR installation story would look for that either. If I don't know, if do y'all support bundled deps?
Um, should just work. You could just be able to publish that. It shouldn't be any blocker. But yeah, it's not like we have any
Does it
special
would it
support for it. Rather,
Okay, and the question was like, would it be in your lock,
ah,
or would it just be kind of
oh,
ignored?
probably no.
Yeah, because then the problem becomes the only other solution. Nobody, as far as I know, nobody does this, and if they do, they can't. It won't scale. So,
Yeah.
is to actually read all the lock files and rebuild the tree yourself, which
Mm,
is really error prone because every package manager does it very differently.
yes, that's
Um,
true.
so it's pretty much not a real option. So you would fall back then to uh, you know having undisclosed security vulnerabilities in your deployed app that you
Yeah,
can't discover through static analysis.
yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
that's a slight problem. Minor, you would say. So no, yeah, we definitely have to keep that in mind. Also, I see we have a message in chat. I'm curious about some edge cases. Here's one. Would JSR package need to be compatible with CJS? Example require. Uh no, I don't think so. I mean, npm packages can be pure ESM as well. And well, since JSR is ESM only, that shouldn't be a problem, especially since more and more popular packages have been moving to be written as ESM only. So I don't think it's a big problem, especially since topic of discussion is new packages or existing packages that are publishing new versions. Uh, this shouldn't be a major concern since it will be relatively modern software that will be written. I would expect that the amount of CJS will go down to a degree that shouldn't be a problem, and that we can just not have to worry about that. And even if we want to worry about that, there is no way around it. We are locked in with DSM. We don't support CJS, and that's not really a thing that's gonna change in JSR. Okay, and then we have a few more minutes. The other topic, well, is dual publishing. So having the capability to publish to both JSR and NPM. And ideally, this would be something that JSR does transparently. And just under the hood for you, you wouldn't have to do anything, but that, well, obviously, A requires that NPM packages can depend on JSR packages, and B also that, well, how can JSR publish something to NPM? And that's probably the more trickier aspect, is how can we publish to NPM as JSR? And we have not investigated this really too much, just because it's still just in the brainstorming moments at the moment. So yeah, if any suggestions around that, also welcome. But yeah, this also has been a big blocker mentioned by package authors, that they want to publish to both of them, as to have a slow way for migrating things from being NPM only to be JSR only. For a transitionary period, they want to have the ability to be on to publish on both. So, well, we need to see what exactly we can do here. Just gonna wait a moment for messages to come in. Is it up to the package author to make sure they use APIs that are compatible with both the Node and Dino for this process to work? Perhaps this must be conditional depending on how the author wrote the library. Wait, let me read that. No. Oh, well, is it up to the package author? Yes. It doesn't need to be compatible with both. I mean, JSR having the compatibility table being Node or Dino or whatever else is just a thing of JSR, and it doesn't require any special behavior to support that. And also, well, in the case of NPM really does not care what the code is uploaded to NPM is. It doesn't care if it's Node, if it's Dino, if it's Cloudflare Workers, if it's web. Anything can be uploaded to NPM. So I don't think there is any blocker. Obviously, if someone uses a package in an NPM package that depends on JSR, and that JSR package only works for Dino, that NPM package that depends on it will only work on Dino as well. That is kind of unavoidable. And we can't really do like some magic translation here on the fly that transforms Dino code to Node code to make it more interoperable for various systems. So it is up to the author to make sure that if they want to support Node, that it is written in a way that it's Node compatible. Hopefully that answers your question. We have another question. This is a question about the badge-related incident happened this week. How about moving our current endpoint badges to Shields.io badge maker? I can take a look at that in the coming days. If that link you gave me wouldn't give me a 4.4. But that aside, regarding the badge incident this weekend, the problem on hand was that Shields.io endpoint, API endpoint, it's not a great name, it's called endpoint, was being attacked by various entities. Basically, had to block nearly all traffic to that endpoint via Cloudflare. And yeah, they adjusted the rules. It should be more secure now, more or less error prone, and this is gonna repeat again. But yeah, I think there shouldn't be a problem. We'll see in the future if this is gonna be a repeating issue, but it was also just really downtime on their side that applied to many other systems and not just JSR. So I personally wouldn't worry too much about having to change it right now after one incident, but it's definitely something we should keep in mind for next time in case this does actually happen to be the case. It's a repeated issue. So definitely we'll keep an eye on badge maker package on npm for the next time that this might happen. And yeah, it shouldn't be a problem honestly to use this, but if we can just proxy through to badges, shields.io directly would probably be the best, just simplest for us for now. Back to the previous question about authoring co-published packages makes sense. Unfortunately, that npm probably won't make the same supportability table as accessible as JSR does. Yeah, no. I mean, that's the whole point of JSR, is that we're trying to innovate. And yeah, I think the dual publishing really is more of a stepping stone for most publishers, as long as we do support dual publishing. I mean, npm packages depending on JSR dependencies or packages. So yeah, alternatively, if we don't go down that route of npm packages depending on JSR packages, dual publishing will be more important, but then that opens up another can of worms, as we mentioned earlier. That will be also, do we bundle, do we do that, do we do that? And depending on a JSR package and dual publishing kinda honestly ends up being the same underlying issue to some degree. Not complete overlap, but mostly related, especially since most packages will have dependencies. Okay. If the same packages on both npm and JSR, it's the best practice to still use JSR. Yeah, that's another problem that we would have to figure out. How can we deduplicate packages that are published to both ecosystems, since they, well, are identified as completely different packages? And yeah, I don't have the answer to that yet, really. So would be the best practice to use JSR? I mean, as JSR, we kind of have to say, of course, use JSR instead of npm if you can. Why not? But yeah, having a way to deduplicate, we need to figure out a solution around that. But I wouldn't say it's a secondary issue, but it's definitely further down the line of an issue that we have to think about. First, we have to figure out how can we even achieve dual publishing, and then we can see how can we do detection of deduplication. Maybe JSR has a database with that knows all the dual published packages that it publishes itself automatically to npm, and then CLIs that use JSR, or that support JSR, do a API call to take a look if that npm package is a duplicate. I don't know. Not gonna go into that topic right now, but yeah, still definitely something that we will keep in mind. And then CLI can warn the user to change. Yeah, exactly. That could be also done. Like, yeah, but yeah, let's see how we can dual publish and publish npm packages that depend on JSR packages in the first place. So yeah, I would say the action points here are talk to Volt.sh and also see to get in contact with PNPM and Yarn Forks, etc., to see what their take on this is and if they have any suggestions on what could be done and if they want to do some first class support for JSR or any alternative solution that we can further discuss. Yeah. Oh yeah, we are definitely over time already. But yeah, thanks for everyone coming. And we will have the next session in 2 weeks, I believe. It's gonna be on, let me double check. It's gonna be on April 17th, same time, on a Thursday. And yeah, hopefully next time both me and Luca will be here. And yeah, see you next time. Thanks, everyone.